Which car are we taking?
Not that one.
Oh my God. Oh God. Oh! You chose to be an international CIA spy.
Because I don't like bullies.
You were like Jason Bourne and George. Did you see that? Mom? I did the thing. I did the thing, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright guys, so on Monday I did check out Central Intelligence. The reason why I'm saying Monday is because I was supposed to review this on Tuesday, but I wanted to give this movie a second watch because watching it the first time, I mean, it takes time to process what grade I'm going to give it and what I want to say about this movie. So, I already saw Finding Dory. My movie day's definitely going to be up for that after this one. And after Finding Dory, me and my friend wanted to see Central Intelligence, so I just saw it again. And, well, here I am. I have my new opinion on this movie. And my opinion has changed a lot since the first time I saw it in this screening. So, this review is going to be fresh. So, here's the ticket when I went to go see it in the screening. So, let's get to the review. Central Intelligence does have a very unique story towards the movie. It has, you know, you have Kevin Hart and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson back in high school. The Rock, he was basically bullied in school for his weight and how he looked like. And you have Kevin Hart, who was the popular kid, but like the nice kind of popular kids, if you know what I mean. And, you know, Kevin Hart's character, he's voted to most likely to succeed in his future. Then here we are 20 years later, he doesn't look like he's succeeding at all, and he just doesn't feel like it. And then you have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's character. 20 years later, he's all buff, and he basically works for the CIA and takes Kevin Hart to basically a mission to help him find the villain of this movie called the Black Badger, who committed a terrible crime, and they're basically after him in this movie, and that's basically the whole entire plot of Central Intelligence. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't know why this movie was called Central Intelligence. I honestly had no idea till I noticed it's basically stands Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA. So, I learned something new. And what can I say about this movie? This movie was, you know, here's the problem with comedies these days. I'm going to take an example for a movie that I watched a few days ago, Meet the Blacks. Review hopefully coming soon. I just want to get all these movie days out of the way. And Meet the Blacks is one of those comedies that just tries hard with their humor. It doesn't end up that funny. And where in this movie, it doesn't really do that. In what's called Meet the Blacks, you have a lot of people cursing and saying the N-word and all that. And here in this movie, you don't really get much of that. You just get some smart humor and, you know, a little bit of bad humor too. But that's what makes this movie Central Intelligence, you know. Kevin Hart, it's kind of weird seeing him play the straight man for once, because if you take a look at his other movies, such as the Ride Along movies, he's the guy, the energetic guy, and in this movie he's the straight guy. He just wants to go home and wants to get out of this. So we basically have The Rock playing Kevin Hart's role, and Kevin Hart playing The Rock's role, which is kind of weird, switched up. I think it was kind of a unique idea to actually switch them up to see how it'll work out, and it did work out good. The way these two actors acted together in this movie was just a really good job. In my opinion, I thought that Kevin Hart worked better with Dwayne Johnson than he did with Ice Cube in the Ride Along movies, but that's just my opinion. I really could feel the, you know, kind of brotherhood inside these two characters in this movie. As for the acting, the acting, you can't expect any Oscar performances, but you could definitely expect some fun performances in this movie. And you could easily look like Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart were definitely having a lot of fun watching this movie. Or, no, not watching this movie, filming this movie. And, you know, that says a lot about this movie. Okay, sure, the story can get confusing and it doesn't always make sense. But there's always something to basically replace that. And in this movie, it's the action sequences. Because the action sequences in this movie, they're not that they're brutal, but they're like PG-13 level. Well, it's PG-13, but this is how the action scenes in movies are supposed to be in PG-13 movies. And I can't say it's anything like X-Men Apocalypse violent or Captain America Civil War violent, but I can definitely say that this is one of the better action comedies I have seen recently. Also, don't get me wrong, we do have 3 good cameos in this movie. By cameo, well, they're not really cameos, meaning that 2 of the cameos in this movie are actually kind of important to the story. And let me just say, they were not at all promoted in the trailers or TV spots in any means. And when I saw these 3 characters, I was just surprised that they actually saved them as a surprise. And let me just give out hints. I'm not going to say who, but one of them started in the most popular animated movie of the year. Another of them stars in a very famous popular TV show, adult TV show. And then the third one is starring in a reboot that not everybody is anticipating that much. Comes out in July, hint. But that's all I can give it away about the cameos in this movie. Going back to examples of other comedies we have been getting lately, almost every comedy coming out in this generation tries to act, you know, cool and hip for the new generation. And let's look back at comedies like one of my all-time favorite comedies, the original Dumb and Dumber. That movie is funny, not just in a stupid way, but in a clever way, because they actually had some clever humor in that movie. And a lot of comedies, again, picking back at Meet the Blacks, we do have a lot of comedy that mostly aims towards our generation, but really isn't that funny. This movie can do that sometimes, but a lot of times it does have clever humor, almost like the first Dumb and Dumber movie had. And I do appreciate that instead of trying to go all, you know, new generation comedy style, like Meet the Blacks and all those comedies we have been getting lately. But I do appreciate that they at least tried to keep it enjoyable for other generations, young or older than us, and our generation at the same time. So I do appreciate that. Overall, Central Intelligence, fantastic? No. Is it Oscar worthy? Hell no. But is it terrible or in any means bad? No. This is majority a good movie, but I'm going to say that this is a great movie, mostly because it does, you know, improve a lot of things that comedies suffer from these days. So with that being said, I would originally give this movie a 7.5 out of 10 or a B, but you know, again, going that this movie actually improves a lot from comedies that have been coming out lately, I'm going to give this movie a 8 out of 10 or a B+. Again, originally 7.5 out of 10, but I boosted up a half point mostly because it did improve a lot from comedies these days. But other than that, if you still haven't seen Finding Dory, I would still recommend Finding Dory over Central Intelligence a little bit. But definitely a fun movie to check out. You know, everybody at my both showings of the movies that I saw, everybody was laughing their asses off. So definitely check this out. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later for my next movie day. Bye.
I'm looking for my family.
Are you crazy? It's too dangerous. Hands!
Hands? Mommy?
Holy Neptune!
That is definitely not Mommy! I'm sorry, I gotta blink. How do you hold your eyes open that long?